Welcome to a special holiday edition of Into the Abyss, filmed specifically for the Crystal Lake Patreon page. If you don't know who I am, I'm Kevin Lucia, one of the co-hosts of Into the Abyss, a YouTube channel focusing on all things horror, streaming horror, TV shows, movies, video games, books, you name it, we're going to try to cover it. Anyway, it's the holiday season, so I thought what better to celebrate the holiday season than some holiday horror selections. So I've watched a couple in the last few days, and I'm going to offer my recommendations to you. Now, I haven't ranked them 1 through 5, 1 being the best, 5 being the worst. They're all very different films, so I'm just going to describe them to you and give them my recommendations and leave it at that. The first one I'm going to look at, the first two actually, have different takes on the idea that the Santa we know is not the Santa that really exists. The Santa has a dark, maybe even evil past. The first one is a film that I've wanted to see for quite some time. Rare Exports, A Christmas Tale. It's currently streaming on Amazon Prime. It's an international film with subtitles. Usually subtitles throw me off. I don't know why. But this time it didn't. This film takes place in northern Finland, where there's an archaeological dig next to a small village that is attempting to unearth the tomb of Santa Claus. However, as one young boy discovers researching some myths, the Santa Claus we know and celebrate is not the real Santa Claus. The real Santa Claus is a beast that hunts children who are naughty. So kind of a riff on the Krampus myth. It's a really good film. It plays it straight. I don't know how horrific it really is. It's got some nice jump scare moments. And it's just kind of a fun, entertaining film to watch. Like I said, they take it serious. It's not tongue-in-cheek. It's almost more like an action-adventure movie, really, than it is a horror film. But I thought it was really, really enjoyable. And there's a nice twist there regarding Santa, and his true identity. So, Rare Exports, A Christmas Tale. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum is a movie called Santa's Sleigh. S-L-A-Y. In this film, unbeknownst to most of us, Santa is really the son of Satan. And on Christmas Day, he used to spread misery, fear, and destruction until an angel comes down to earth and it bests him in a contest. And the terms of the contest is that Santa, for 1,000 years, has to bring only joy and happiness. Well, at the start of this movie, those 1,000 years are up. And Santa, played by wrestler Bill Goldberg, is done being nice. If you've ever wanted to see a movie where in the first 10 minutes, James Caan, Fran Drescher, Chris Kattan, and Mary Greyheart are slaughtered brutally, this is the film for you. This is really a comedy horror selection, and it was just a lot of fun to watch. My next selection is a nice little anthology film called Holiday Hell. In Holiday Hell, a young woman is on Christmas Eve looking for a last-minute gift for her sister. She stops at an odd pawn shop. The pawn shop is owned by none other than horror icon Jeffrey Combs from Reanimator, Beyond Reanimator, The Frighteners, and a whole slew of other movies. In this anthology film, 4 tales centered around objects in this pawn shop are told. Some of them having to do with Christmas, some of them not having to do with Christmas. The acting is a little subpar, but it's an enjoyable film with a nice twist at the end, and it's always enjoyable to see Jeffrey Combs in his creepy action. So Holiday Hell is also on Amazon Prime. Oh, and I'm sorry, I forgot, Santa's Sleigh is on Vudu, if you happen to have Vudu. Santa's Sleigh is on Vudu. The next one is Red Christmas, streaming currently on Netflix. Now, I gotta be honest, the only reason why I picked up the only reason why I started watching Red Christmas is because I saw starring Dee Wallace. So I'm thinking, Dee Wallace, horror icon, let's check this out. Red Christmas is a movie that, how shall I say, apparently attempts to try to offend everyone. It's Christmas Day. and you have a moderately tense family gathering. Dee Wallace is the matriarch. Her husband has recently passed away, and they're going to have a nice Christmas dinner. You've got your usual, family tensions, people not getting along. There's an ultra-religious segment of the family sitting down with a more secular segment of the family, a crusty old uncle who just kind of wants to drink and swear. Dee Wallace has a lovable son who has Down syndrome. And a stranger shows up in a hood and a mask and wants to read him his Christmas wish. Well, as it turns out, the stranger is Dee Wallace's son, who she tried to have aborted several years before, but a bombing at the abortion clinic had everyone flee, and unbeknownst to everyone, her aborted son survived. Again, this movie is not for the faint of heart when it comes for gore, and also for those easily offended, because quite frankly, I'm not sure who they're trying to offend in this movie. Are they trying to offend pro-lifers? Are they trying to offend pro-choicers? Really, I think their intention was, let's make a movie that would probably make everyone angry. However, Red Christmas has a lot of fun action. I don't know if the philosophical comments on pro-life, pro-choice are really substantial or just window dressing, but there's some pretty creative kills and a high carnage rate. So Red Christmas starring Dee Wallace on Netflix. My next selection is maybe a little bit more lowbrow, and that is Krampus Unleashed, which is also playing on Vudu. We all know Krampus, Santa's evil brother. He punishes the naughty instead of bringing presents. Well, in this film, back in the 1800s, apparently some German treasure hunter, his last name was Claus, of course, buries a treasure out in the desert with a warning, don't anyone come look for it or evil will follow you. Predictably, some rustlers ignore this, go dig it up, and what they really do is they dig up a big onyx stone that apparently summons Krampus, who then shows up and then kills them all. Fast forward to modern times, out in New Mexico, and again we have your cliched family gathering for Christmas, kind of tense, and they're out hiking, and of course they discover Krampus' stone and summon Krampus, and hilarity ensues. This movie is not very well acted, decently shot, but high gore count and good practical effects. There was another Krampus movie I was going to look at, but from far as I could tell, Krampus was entirely CGI and pretty poor CGI. So in this one at least, Krampus is in good practical creature effects, a lot of practical gore effects. So if you're really looking for that kind of film, I would recommend Krampus Unleashed on Vudu.com or Vudu, the Roku streaming app. Anyway, those are my holiday horror picks for you. Red Christmas, Krampus Unleashed, Holiday Hell, Rare Exports, and Santa's Sleigh. I hope everybody enjoys their holidays. Enjoy those films. We're going to do a few more shoots here for the Patreon page here for Crystal Lake. I thank you for supporting Crystal Lake and Joe Meinhardt, and would love it if you would subscribe to us Into the Abyss on YouTube. We're hoping to produce a lot of fun content over the next year or so. Anyway, happy holidays.